Alright, so we're gonna start our zoo, I suppose.
Oh, hell.
There I am. Oh, no uploads. Don't know what that means. Okay.
Yeah.
New scenario mode. Okay, that's all we want.
Whoa.
Guess we're gonna do career. Interesting. Okay. I guess we'll start with this. Oh, I unlocked an achievement. Don't know what that means, but okay.
Heyo at Hematu. Yeah. Oh, sorry about that. I have a habit of.
It's a pretty nice
slipping
zoo.
back into
I
the
like this,
Franco
whatever this
language.
is.
It's good to finally meet you in person. I'm Bernard, although I insist
Nice
you
dodo.
call me Bernie. The only person who calls me Bernard is my wife.
Pretty
And even then, only when I
lemur
pack
habitat.
elephant dung into the carpets. As you know, I own several zoos, but I always like to show people the ropes here at my home. This is the first zoo I ever opened, and a source of great pride for me. And prides, thanks to a lion breeding program we ran in the 80s. But we're in the middle of a big renovation, and that's where you come in. Sadly, our old contractor had to retire after developing a fur allergy. Poor devil kept sneezing his dentures into the lion habitat. So, it's up to you to finish everything off. Don't worry, though. I'm not completely throwing you into the deep end. My head keeper, Nancy Jones, will be lending a helping hand. Oh, she's a hard worker, and she'll expect you to be too. But I'm sure you'll get along like a house on fire, or even better, one that isn't on fire. Less shouting that way.
Hello there. From that rosy, fresh face of yours, I'm guessing you're Bernie's new hire. Good. Now, I hope you're ready to ditch your diploma because we're about to get really hands-on. But before we begin the real work, how about we familiarize you with the zoo by learning how to fly around it and visiting some of our beautiful animals? We'll start by popping over and having a look-see at the grizzly bears in their habitat.
Okay. Enter the grizzly bear animal camera. How do I... Oh.
Did you know that grizzly bears, also known as Ursus arctos horribilis, can hibernate for up to 7 months a year? Oh, but then again, given the chance, I think a lot of people would do that too. Select one of the
outta
bears
here.
and you'll bring up its information panel.
Zachary.
This is where you can find out all kinds of information about your animal. The most important thing being its
Pretty healthy.
overall welfare. You'll learn more about animal welfare today as we go through your objectives. But for now, let's enjoy this magnificent animal. Why don't you select the camera at the bottom of its information panel? See now, this is a fantastic way to get a close look at your animals.
That's
You
pretty
can
cool.
also get this view of an animal by simply double-clicking on it. Okay, when you're ready, let's pop over to the other side of the zoo and take a look at the lions. I've marked their location for you to find.
It's a cool little habitat. Get a nice top-down view.
Panthera leo leo. Or the
Ooh.
West African lion to you and me. Lions
Little
are the
baby.
most social of the big cats, and there can be as many as 40 lions in a pride. Although prides of that size are pretty rare. As Bernie would say, those lions are awesome. Which is precisely
pretty
why
cool.
I handle the training instead these days. Anyway, how about we get started on those objectives? Come on, let's head over to an empty habitat and see what needs doing there.
Oh, this doesn't look safe. The keeper in here. Just gonna ignore that. Locate the empty habitat. Alright. Okay. What I gotta do here? No.
As you can see,
Oh,
it's a
double
lovely
click,
space
okay.
for animals, but it's missing a certain something. Well, two somethings. Warthogs. So I'd like you to adopt a pair of them. To adopt animals, we need to open the animal market, which is in the animal trading section.
Oh. We've got plenty
There
of
we
money.
are,
Holy
a
crap.
pair of perfectly splendid warthogs for our zoo. Just click on them and select Adopt from the side menu. Normally the animal exchange would be full of animals, but I've emptied out the market while you learn how it works. The last thing I
Longevity's
need is you
not great.
accidentally ordering a dozen elephants. When you adopt an animal, it's automatically placed in the trade centre, where they're held until you're ready to move them into their habitat, which, as it happens, you are. So how about you move them into their new home? When you ask for an animal to be moved into a habitat, your caretakers will go to the trade centre, collect your animal, and deliver them to your selected habitat. I've marked the trade centre's location, so let's go and watch the caretakers in action. Well, as you can see, those caretakers don't hang
Oh,
about.
nice.
They'll move those animals to their destination as fast as possible. Of course, normally we'd have to place the animals into quarantine before moving them into a habitat, but I am assured by a person of good standing that these warthogs are in the very rudest of health. Right, let's get the warthog's habitat finished up so we can keep them nice and happy. You see, each animal in the zoo has an overall welfare statistic, basically how happy they are. And that overall welfare statistic is itself comprised of 4 different areas: nutrition, social health, habitat, and enrichment. Luckily, if you
got a
select
nice
an
crowd
animal,
already.
you bring up their animal welfare information panel, which we saw earlier, where you can see how they're doing. That way,
no
you'll know
enrichment, and
exactly
they're
what
hungry
areas
and
need to be
thirsty.
addressed. Don't worry if that's a lot to remember. You can always check the Zoopedia for more information.
Alright,
Let's
so how do I
start
do
by
that?
making sure we're taking care of the warthog's nutrition welfare. To do this, we'll need to place a food station and a drinking station. Now, each animal requires a different type of feeding station. And for the warthogs, it's a small feeding trough. So let's add one of those and a water bowl.
I don't want to put this. One there. Over here.
Animals also require stimulation to keep them happy. Let's add a lovely mud bath for the warthogs to roll around in. That bath will count towards their enrichment welfare, specifically their toy enrichment welfare.
Right there.
Oh, nice work. You've got a knack for this, I see. Now, our contractor had to leave in a hurry, so this place is in a pharaoh state. Unfinished thingamajigs and whatsits all over the shop. But the first thing we need to finish is the ostrich habitat. It's over near the hippos.
Oh, hippos. Where are my hippos?
Oh,
Okay.
before we actually start building our ostrich habitat, let's pause the game. Just click the pause button in the bottom right corner. Ah, that's more like it. A quick break. Sometimes it's a good idea to pause the game whilst you're doing something which requires your concentration, because it'll stop the zoo spinning out of control while you're looking the other way.
Oh, we're
Let's
losing
keep the
money.
game paused while we get this ostrich habitat built. Okay, job number 1 here is to add a habitat gate before we complete the barrier. Every habitat needs a habitat gate. After all, how else would the keepers get in and out? Just make sure it's hooked up to the path so the keepers can reach it.
Habitat gate. Get this out of here. Whoop. So let's put it there.
Right, let's complete the perimeter barrier so we can adopt us some ostriches. I've marked out an area for you to use, so I'd like you to finish off the perimeter using the brick barrier.
Oh. Controls are a little bit weird. I don't know how I feel about that. I want to keep it going. Oh, that's pretty cool. Oh, shoot me into nowhere. How do I? All right, the controls are definitely wonky. Shooting me off into the distance, but you know.
Good work! Remember, before you can place animals in any habitat, it has to have a full loop of connected barrier. Now, you've probably noticed that guests can't actually see into this habitat at the moment. At least not without a stepladder. But seeing as they're banned, I'd like you to select a piece of barrier and swap out the brick for a glass barrier, so the guests can see in. There we go. Adding in more windows gives guests even more opportunities to see the animals in a habitat. It's always best to make sure the guests can get a good view into a habitat from the path they're walking on, because it makes them happy, and because this would be a pretty terrible zoo if they couldn't. The last thing we need to do is to add a donation box. You see, when guests enjoy the view of an animal, they'll make a donation. Just make sure you put them in easy-to-reach places, like near a viewing point. Donation boxes are one of the main sources of income for the zoo, so make sure you remember them. Now, before we adopt our ostriches, you should click the play button. After all, if the game's paused, then so are our caretakers, which will make it a bit tricky for them to deliver the ostriches,
Ostriches. Oh, get out of here.
By the way, as well as pausing the game, you can speed the game up by clicking on the fast forward button. It'll run everything at 2 times and 5 times faster. It can be useful, especially if you're waiting for money to accumulate or for animals to be delivered to your habitat. Personally, I use it when I'm waiting for a brew to finish. All right, you've finished the habitat, so it's high time we adopted those ostriches, don't you think?
Get out of here.
Let's get 4 of them in here.
Oh. Why is this one gold and those are silver? Guess it's a breeding ostrich? I don't know. Throw these guys in here. And where is it here? Oh. Select all. Oh, interesting. So where are
While we
they?
wait for them to be collected by the caretakers and brought to the habitat, you should get it ready for them. Add a suitable feeding station, water station, and an appropriate food enrichment item. It's often best to place things like enrichments and feeding stations near to the habitat perimeter, so guests can get a really good view of the animals.
One there. Give another there. A slow feeder? Interesting. Here. Got another one in the back there. Water trough. Here maybe?
Oh, good to see the ostriches have
cool,
somewhere
cool.
they can really stretch their legs. Did you
Earned
know
a...
they can actually run at 43 miles per hour?
Spin it.
Oh, heaven forbid they ever escape. The speed camera fines alone would bankrupt us.
Okay.
Well, Bernie certainly
okay?
seems impressed. Did you do his speed camera joke? Every time we get an ostrich. So, now we've made the ostriches' lives a bit better, let's do the same for the keepers, shall we? To make it easier for the keepers to feed the ostriches and hippos, we should build a new keeper hut. Keeper huts are where the keepers
Gonna
prepare
watch
the
an
food
ostrich,
for
here you
animals.
go.
So they should be
there's
placed
a
near to the
sprinkler, that's
habitats
cool.
to make sure the keepers don't waste their time walking when they should be looking after
This
the
one's a
animals.
pretty one. How do I switch to my other ostrich thing? Yeah. Big boy. Or girl. I forget which one it is. It is... I'm guessing... male? Yeah, there we go. Darren. Alright, keeper hut. Staff facilities. Ooh, which one do I want? Classic keeper hut, Planet Zoo keeper hut. Planet
You'll
Zoo
need to
keeper hut.
rotate the keeper hut to get it to connect up to the path.
Oh, I need a connection to the path. Where am I putting it? Ah, I see. Okay. Where's the door? Oh, on the other side. Alright. Yeah, I'm not sure I like this control scheme. It's a little wonky.
This keeper hut only has space for one keeper, but the larger keeper hut can allow multiple keepers to prepare food at the same time. Oh, but bear in mind that keeper huts and other staff facilities shouldn't be placed near to areas where there are lots of guests. Guests don't like seeing facility buildings, and it can affect their happiness.
Okay.
Negatively. In case that wasn't clear. Something that all facilities, shops, and a whole host of other objects need is power. And that obviously includes your newly built Keeper Hut. So let's place a transformer next to it, shall we?
Oh. There's a hippo right there.
Now, the reason everything has gone blue is because you're using the power heat map. This map allows you to see what is and what isn't powered in your zoo. So, once you've placed your transformer, you can click
That
in
light's
the
not
bottom
powered.
left to turn the heat map off.
Oh, God.
Lovely work. Now
Is
the
it
keepers
bottom
can
left?
start using the hut to prepare food. And thanks to where you've put it, they won't need to walk very far to deliver it to the ostriches and hippos. Let's get
doing?
on to your next objective then. Bengal tigers.
The
We want to
highlighted
adopt some, but I'm
area.
afraid there's nothing ready for them yet. Head on over to the plot of land I've marked out. It's not too far away.
Ooh.
Righty, your next job is to build a habitat from scratch. And
Okay.
concrete and glass, I expect. So go ahead and build it. Just make sure that the habitat includes that big hole we've dug. Oh, and don't forget to add a habitat gate to the barrier. Oh, and make
Alright.
sure the guests will be able to see the tigers.
I'll put the habitat gate here, I think. Actually, let me build this up. Concrete. Oh, what did I do? Oh, I don't want to move the whole thing. Oops. Interesting. Alright. Huh. No, get out the way. Yeah, I don't know, these controls are a little wonky. But I mean, it works, I guess. The habitat gate here.
Bernie takes safety very seriously at his zoos, so we should
Make
probably
that
make sure those
glass.
tigers can't jump out of their habitat, don't you think?
Make this one
The way we'll do
glass.
it is by changing the
Make
height of the
that one
habitat's barrier.
glass.
Okay then, you should start by double-clicking
Make
the
that
habitat
glass.
barrier, which will take you into barrier editing mode.
I want to double click habitat
Great.
barrier.
Now
What's
highlight the
that?
entire perimeter of the habitat. You can do that by clicking and dragging the barrier selection tool.
This. Okay.
Now you've got all of the perimeter selected, you can increase the height of it by clicking and dragging the barrier height tool upwards. You'll want to make sure it reaches a height of
Oh.
at least 3.7 meters.
3.7. We'll put it at 3.8. I just did that. 3.8. Oh, why is that 3.79? Whatever. Oh. That'll be good there. I wanna. Wait. No, no, no. How do I get rid of this? Okay, this is slightly frustrating. How do I deselect? Barrier. I'm a dumbass. I didn't even put glass in there. Put glass there. There. Put some here. Put some here. What's the issue? Set boundary to 3.7. Okay. It is to 3.7. I don't. What's the issue here? Do I have to select all three? What? Oh, I have to put it exactly 3.7? Well, this is annoying. Oh, I just had it. Okay, I want to get out of this. There, okay. 3.7. What else do you want from me, game? Like this widget? Okay, cool. We're just gonna place it, what is it? Facilities. Let me do anything else until I figure out how to set it to 3.7 meters high, which it is set to. Pause it. I'm confused as to what I need to do now. Why does this keep happening? I don't, just deselect. Oh, that's interesting. No, get out of here. Just keep it right there. Damn, 3.7 is pretty tall. Okay. I'm a little confused now. Why is it not working. We're just, okay, I can't do anything until the game recognizes this 3.7 meters high. Am I not supposed to use concrete or something? What? There you go. Set boundary. I don't.
Now that the habitat is in
What?
place, don't forget to put down a donation box near to your viewing areas. We need every dollar we can get.
No.
Especially as these tigers aren't exactly eating instant noodles for lunch.
Apparently they want it all the way up here. Okay, well, you're getting it at 11 meters. Guest facilities. I'll put one. Okay, why can't I put one Oh, it has to go over here. Interesting.
Okay,
Have
that's
one
the
there.
habitat boundary complete, the habitat gate's in place, and most importantly, the tigers won't be able to jump out of it anymore.
Apparently
I think it's
not.
time we adopted those tigers.
Jeez, they're expensive. Get 2 tigers. Sorry about the sniffling. I'm still getting over a cold a
Whilst
little
our
bit.
trusty caretakers collect and deliver the tigers, let's take a look at preparing the habitat for their arrival. We'll start with the basics. Add a suitable feeding station for them.
Okay, get this off the screen. A feeding station. A food tray. Alright, we'll put it... I want it in front of one of these, so...
This time, instead of adding a water bowl, let's try something different. Some animals need a pool in their habitat so they can go for a swim, but they can also use it to drink from. All you have to do is make sure the banks of the pool have a gentle slope so they can easily get a nice, refreshing drink. There's already a pool excavated, but you still need to fill it with water. You should do that by going into terrain and selecting the water tool.
I did. Oh, terrain. Where's terrain? Terrain, water. This one.
Yes, that'll do nicely.
Interesting.
Of course, just like the warthogs and ostriches, these tigers will also need some enrichment. Why don't you add some suitable toy and food enrichment items into their habitat?
Enrichment. Frozen blood pumpkin. It's kind of cool. Rubbing pad. There. Oh. One straight across. Frozen blood pumpkin.
Okay, it's
One
really
there.
starting to take shape. Now,
Give 'em a
the
couple.
tigers will need a shelter in their habitat so they can hide from the guests, or more likely, the bad weather. Although, given that we're in England, you might want to think of that just as normal weather. Go on, add a shelter to their habitat. You can either build one from various suitable bits and bobs, or if you like, just pop down the blueprint that I've already built for you.
Where do I want to put this? I'll put it here. This should be fine. This corner here. It might get stuck behind it. Oh well. Okay, what else do I need? Hard shelter welfare? What does that mean? To 60%. Do they need another one? Man, these controls are just killing me. I don't know what it means when it says hard shelter welfare. That was not explained. Increase hard shelter welfare to 60%. What does that mean? It's not what I want. Blueprint. No, none of that. No. Do I need like 7? What? Maybe I'm just missing explanation. Maybe I should pay attention. Where's the entrance? Oh, right there, okay. I don't. What's this bullshit? I don't know what it's asking. Increase hard shelter welfare. What does that mean? How do I undo? Well, I just took a chunk out of the roof. Oh, whoops. Just, get rid of that. There we go. Okay, just play, see what happens? I don't know. How are those animals feeling? What do they want? This hard shelter welfare makes no sense. Why is it? Whatever. Oh, hey, there she is. There's my... the 2 tigers. Big tiger, dang. Okay, get out of here. I mean, the welfare is good. I don't...
Oh, poor Dabs. I'm sure it can't have escaped your attention that the tigers look a bit miffed. That's because they aren't too keen on the type of terrain in their habitat. Select
Oh, what am
a
I
tiger
supposed to
and
do
bring
about
up its
that?
information panel. Rightio. Click on the terrain tab. That
Oh.
way you can view the terrain information and see how they feel about the different types of terrain. That'll tell you what the tigers need more of or less of in this habitat.
Needs more long grass and
Okay
soil.
then, open the terrain editing tool, select painting, and give them some more soil. Yes, that should help with the habitat part of their welfare.
Some heavy soil over here too. Here maybe. A little bit of rock. They want short grass, okay. Alright.
They say the good fences make good neighbors. I guess that's doubly true when one of the neighbors is a Bengal
Apprentice,
tiger.
nice.
Still, those
Tiger,
tigers look
that's
so happy that I doubt they'd leave. Even if you did poke a hole in their fence. Oh, but for heaven's sake, don't test that theory.
They need some more short
Right,
grass.
let's head over to the Indian peafowls. I've been told that we need to improve their social welfare.
Alright. Indian peafowl. Whoa.
Just find one of the peafowls and select them to open their information panel. Then we can have a good gander at how they're doing. Although technically, I suppose gandering would just be for geese.
It's pretty cool.
Expand their social welfare, and we can get a bit more detail. Now, they've clearly got plenty of space, and they're not stressed, but it looks like their social group isn't quite right. So let's find
they
out
need
more.
Only
Click
one
on
of
the
them in
social
here?
tab at the top of their
there's
information
two.
panel to see what's wrong. Right, as you can see, the peafowls need their population to be
more
larger.
people.
To
More
solve this little
peas.
problem, you'll need to adopt 3 more female peafowls. Off you pop
Right.
to the animal market then.
Oop. What do I do? Oh, adopt, send to zoo. Send to zoo. Send them all to the zoo. I gotta come all the way from over there. Alright. Send you to the zoo. Send to zoo.
Good work on those peafowls. I expect they'll be delivered soon. But sadly,
Okay.
it sounds like our snow leopard is a bit grumpy.
Oh my
Let's head
goodness.
over there and see what's wrong with her.
Come here, snow leopard. What's wrong with you? Where the hell are you?
Just like people, animals can suffer from stress if things aren't quite right. You know, like when you see someone put in the milk before the tea bag.
Not
In the
over
case
there.
of these snow leopards, they're a bit stressed by their lack of privacy. You can lower their stress
Oh.
levels by swapping out the normal glass barrier by their cave for one-way glass. It's not a cheap option, but I think they're worth the expense, don't you? This
I
will give the
agree.
snow leopards somewhere to go when they want to get away from the prying eyes of the guests.
Edit barrier. One-way
Of course, when an animal isn't in its natural biome, it's probably going to be too hot or too cold. Unsurprisingly for the snow leopards, it's too hot, even with the terrible British weather. You should help cool it down by adding some coolers to their habitat. But let's start by opening up the temperature heat map and having a look-see at the temperature in the leopard's habitat.
It's quite warm.
As you can see, we already have
Oh, it's
one cooler
only
in
cool there.
Let's pop some more down
Yeah,
and get
that's
as
not
much
gonna
of the
work.
habitat as chilly as we can. Luckily for us, this habitat already has power, but you'll need to make sure of that in the future. Just so you know,
Interesting.
if any part of a habitat is powered, then the whole habitat will be powered.
Huh, okay, that's cool. So we need... I want to get there. Go in there. Top one right here.
You can find heat maps for all sorts of helpful things, so do be sure to explore them and make good use of them. It'll take a little while for the temperature to adjust once you've added coolers or heaters, but now
move
we've
this
got the
one.
coolers
How do I
in,
move it?
we can address the leopard's terrain welfare. You see, what the leopards really want in here is snow and rock, so let's make that happen.
Where's a leopard? There's a leopard. I gotta figure out where his welfare is. There's gotta be a better way to find these animals. Oh, you're getting snow all over the place.
Well then, all of that should give you a pretty good understanding of how to make animals happy. So I'd like you to go and check on all the other animals in the zoo and fix up any issues with their habitats. That'll increase the average welfare of the animals across the whole zoo. And that average welfare is a very important statistic. Now, to quickly see how all your animals are doing in the zoo, you should go into zoo management and then into the animals section.
Alright, zoo management.
As you can see, this list shows you the animals' overall
Uh-oh, the
welfare.
tortoises.
So if something's
Oh,
amiss,
this
then
tiger's
you
not
can quickly
doing
pop
well.
over to them using the locate button. Right, I'm off for a cuppa while you make sure all the animals are well looked after.
All the zebras and giraffes are having issues. We're gonna go check on this guy. Not what I want. Oh. It's attracted protesters. How do I get rid of them? Dehydrated, go drink some water. What do you want from me? Here, you can have another water dish. Just in case. What? An animal escaped? I'm not dealing with you right now. What are these, lemurs? How am I supposed to find a lemur? What? There are no protesters. Get out of here. pop their balloons. I don't... How am I supposed to find this thing? You talking about this one? It's right here. Dude, it's a lemur. How am I supposed to find a lemur? What? You're fine. Okay, this is going back to concrete. Screw you guys. You're messing with my tigers. What? What's wrong with you? Drink your water. I can't make you drink. I don't know what I'm supposed to do about that. Oops, that's not what I wanted. Okay, we're going back to... Okay, I can't make you drink. I'm not messing with you. Lemurs are fine, I guess. Where are the zebras? The tortoises. The warthogs. Bears. Is this zebras? This is zebras and giraffes. What do they want? They need enrichment. Do you also need enrichment? Zebras need enrichment. Where's giraffe? Giraffe needs enrichment. Okay. We can do that. I know how to do that one. Enrichment. You want a bamboo feeder? No, you don't. You're a giraffe. What do giraffes want? They need toys and food. Here. There's a rubbing pillar.
Not bad at all. I think it's
Okay,
fair
shut
to
up, I'm
say
not
that
done.
you've passed the first part of
Get
your
outta
training with
here.
flying colours. There's still lots more to learn, but we'll have to head to another one of Bernie's zoos.
Oh,
for that.
okay, so that's an
Would you like
hour.
to
So
grab
that's
your
gonna be,
passport? We'll head off, shall we?
I guess, good enough for this time. I don't know. It's a Goodwin House, sure. And I'll come back to that either next time or at a later date and see if I can spruce it up a little bit, make it nice and pretty. But I think for now, that's probably gonna do it. Just let me know if sound needs to change or if I need to work on anything for next time. Other than that, yeah, I think that'll be it. Thank you.